My name is Tom Bergler. I teach in the Ministry and Missions Department, and the Emeriti Fellows Grant allowed me to work on a new book that I'm researching on emerging adults and their faith. One of the things that I found is that the religious lives of emerging adults are very diverse. It really depends which religious group you're talking about, whether you're talking about people who are going to college or people who are not going to college. And so what I found out was, even though people tend to talk about emerging adults as one group, there are really many different groups. And so when the church thinks about reaching out to them, we really have to think about which group we're going to be reaching out to. So the religious beliefs and practices of people who never go to college are quite different from those who go to college. It differs whether you're going to a Christian college or a non-Christian college. The outcomes are very different. And so one of the things I'm learning is we have to think differently about emerging adults. People have tended to think about high school students as if they're all kind of the same for ministry, which even that isn't true, as we know. But high school students are more similar to each other than young adults are. Their lives begin to diverge more, and so their religious lives diverge more. People in the church tend to think that it's a real crisis that emerging adults, people in their 20s, are not in church and they're leaving church in unprecedented numbers. But my research tells me to turn that on its head and actually say it's a miracle that anybody in their 20s is in church, because the way our society structures the life stage of emerging adulthood is perfectly suited to pull or push people away from church involvement and religious interest. And so the fact that we see many people in their 20s going to church, being fervent about their faith on Christian campuses and elsewhere, to me speaks to the truth of the gospel, the power of God, and the hope that we have that anyone can be reached, even in this age group. I've found out this fact, which is troubling to me, and I don't have an answer to this problem yet, but I'm aware of this huge problem that I don't see the church talking about, which is, what about the non-college people in their 20s? What are we doing to reach them? What are we doing to help them in their lives? Because the research says that emerging adulthood is working better for the upwardly mobile, college-educated than it's working for those with less education. In fact, one of the researchers calls them swimmers and treaders. Swimmers are people who are taking longer to become adults, but that's because they're going to graduate school, they're getting better jobs, they're holding out for the better job, and they're holding out for the right person to marry, and so they end up with better marriages and better careers and better long-term economic prospects. The treaders, he calls them, are the people who get some or no college education. Maybe they start having children without being married. That holds them back in having their education, which holds them back economically. And those people are also the ones who are least in church. So there's some way that all these problems are compounding, and I would love to see us as the church reach that group more effectively.